guys, welcome to Soul Talk with Leo and Norma. I'm Leo.
And I'm Norma.
Let's talk about it. Good evening. Welcome to Soul Talk with Leo and Norma. I'm Leo.
And I'm Norma. Let's talk about it.
Hey guys, we have an amazing show in store this evening. We're going to be continuing the conversation. It's your time to shine. We're going to revisit some of the diamonds that we've talked about over the last several weeks. So let somebody know that Soul Talk with Leo and Norma is on. Call them, text them, but they do not want to miss the conversation this evening. So let's go ahead and get started.
So before we get into the meat of the lesson tonight, let me just give you a little story. So back in 2002, Ben Affleck and J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, who they affectionately call Bennifer. You guys will remember that. They were dating and decided to get married, or Ben Affleck was going to at least propose to J-Lo. And so he went to see Harry Winston, one of the famed jewelers that people with lots and lots of money go to. And so he went to him, and because J-Lo's favorite color is pink, he decided that he would get a pink diamond. And so when he went to get this diamond, he got one of the most rarest pink diamonds that he could get. And coincidentally, that diamond was 6.10 carats.
Wow.
Yes. And so, I mean, I'm just thinking, for me, a 6-carat ring and a pink diamond I'd never seen before. Now, be honest. How many of you have ever, that you thought about or knew about a pink diamond before Ben Affleck proposed to J-Lo with it? I didn't. For me, an impoverished girl from Compton and from Watts, I knew nothing at all about a pink diamond. But let me just tell you, I was like all over that thing, and probably many women were as well. We were swooning over the fact that there was this pink diamond, and it was amazing. And so I started doing this study because I'm like all into it now. I want to find out about this pink diamond because I was very interested in it. And so I started learning more and more about the rarity of it and how it was and all the things about it. And then as I was doing that, I found out something else that I did not know about diamonds. Again, I'm from Compton, from Watts. I grew up, in those kinds of areas. So I did not grow up with a silver spoon, didn't know about any of those things. So me learning this came after seeing that large pink diamond. And so what I learned, though, in the time of learning about the pink diamond, I learned that diamonds have characteristics, and that they are displayed by 4 different things, 4 different traits that they call them. And so these 4 different traits they call the 4 C's, and they are clarity, color, cut, and carat. I was like amazed by that. I had no idea. So over this next few weeks, we're going to be going through these 4 qualities and these 4 traits of diamonds and kind of correlating them with our lives. And we're going to go through kind of a transformation process. As the diamond goes through a transformation process, we're going to go through that as well. And so in the end, we want to make sure that we all are able to see our natural brilliance.
Well, now, before we get started, I heard about diamonds also, but I didn't hear about the color, the cut, or the carat. I heard that they were a girl's best friend.
That's right. And that's true.
So, and that's my story, and I'm going to stick with, I don't know what they have to do with anything, but But that's all I knew about the diamond. I knew if you could put a smile on a lady's face if you brought her one of those rare rocks.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get started. Proverbs, the 23rd chapter, the 7th verse says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." As he or her thinks, so are you. You are a byproduct of your thoughts.
Yeah.
So some people say, well, is it important what I think? Well, you will become the thing that you focus on the most.
That's right.
As you think in your heart, you will become it. So it's important that you be thinking about things that are good, that are honest, that are of a good report versus all the doom and gloom or the agonies of your past or bad things that has happened to you. Because whatever you shine the light on the most with your mind, that's the thing that you will attract in your life.
Right, right.
So this scripture is very fitting as we begin talking about the first of the 4 C's. And the first of the 4 C's happens to be clarity. Clarity. Before you start any journey, you need to make sure that you have all the information, all the knowledge necessary for you to go to point A, at least from point A to point B. Many times you never start a journey with the mindset that I'm going to take off going and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's like driving down the highway and here it is raining. Windshield wipers are not working. It's raining cats and dogs. You don't know if you're on the road or off the road. You don't know if you're in your lane or in somebody else's lane. Well, that's an awful feeling. Most people would be in full-blown panic in a situation like that. Well, why don't we panic when we're traveling down the roads of life?
Wow.
And we can't see where we're going. We don't have clarity on the destination that we're going towards. Why? Because we didn't take time to plan the trip. We didn't take time to calculate. We didn't take time to get clarity.
Wow.
So here it is. Clarity means to seek profound insight, and it also means clearness. Profound insight, having intellectual depth on where I'm going or what I'm getting ready to do. That means that I've taken the time, I've done my research, I know based on what I'm trying to accomplish, I know what's required of me in order to do it. Clarity is possibly the most important out of the 4 C's. You can't get to the rest of them if you don't know where you're going. How do you get from point A to point B if you don't know how to get to B?
Right.
So that's why it says clarity is at least probably the most important out of the 4 C's. And most diamonds have natural imperfections called inclusions that affect the clarity by stopping light from passing through the stone. So now clarity is potentially or possibly the most important out of the 4 C's. And here it is. It says clarity when you're talking about a diamond. When you start looking at a diamond, you should be able to look through the diamond and see certain things.
Yeah.
So here it is. If a person pick up a stone that's supposed to be a diamond and there isn't clarity there, if there isn't a uniqueness there, then that rock gets thrown over in the get rid of me pile. It don't make the cut. Why? Because there are certain things, there are certain qualifications that's needed in order for the diamond to be classified as a diamond. Well, it's the same way with you and I. In order for us to release our brilliance, there are certain things that we have to see, and we can't be assuming. We can't be a hoping and a wishing. We have to know certain things about what we're doing.
That's right. Now, so as people, we all have inclusions, and none of us are perfect.
Say that one more time. One more time.
As people, we all have inclusions, and none of us are perfect.
So you're telling me that I'm not perfect?
None of us are perfect.
Wow.
So just like the diamond, though, has those things that keep it from being clear and from being able to see through it. You know, you said something earlier. You said that it has natural imperfections that causes it not to be seen, or you know, it affects the clarity of it.
Yeah.
It stops the light from getting through. There are things in our lives that are natural imperfections that keep us from being able to walk out what we're supposed to be walking out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it causes us not to be able to be the people who we're supposed to be if we just continue to keep those natural things on us or those imperfections as a whole. I mean, it really does. It keeps us from being able to move forward because we're sitting there with all of this on us. So it's necessary for each of us to identify our personal inclusions in our journey towards understanding our own value. That's what it is. It's necessary for us to identify. So sometimes we have to not wait for other people to see us. We need to be able to say, this is who I am. I mean, I messed up. Sometimes we need to just be honest and just go ahead and tell the truth.
Wow.
I messed up. I ain't right.
Yeah.
I need to fix me.
Well, because see, a lot of time when you start looking at the imperfections, if you're not careful, you think that an imperfection is always a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not that the imperfection is a bad thing. Sometimes your imperfection and my imperfections are areas that have not gotten a lot of attention to develop.
That's right.
And the way that I can take an imperfection and turn it into a perfection is to give it some attention.
Yeah.
Work on it.
That's good.
Don't shy away from it,
That's
because
good.
if you never deal with it, you will spend your whole life walking around with imperfections that you did not have to live with.
That's right. That's right.
All because it was easier to say out of sight, out of mind, not knowing what's out of sight to you, somebody else see it every time you show up.
Yeah. And so no matter where we are or we start in life, wherever we are, you know, there's some things that we're never going to be perfect about. We're never going to, I mean, we can strive all we want, but we're never going to be there. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
Really and truly. It's okay that we're not perfect, but we're continuing to strive and trying to get to that place and getting rid of the imperfections as we go. Profound insight is about gaining a fresh perspective by suspending old thinking patterns and seeing the new in old.
Say that one more time. Say that one.
Profound insight is about gaining a fresh perspective by suspending old thinking patterns and seeing the new in old.
Yes. Yes. See, sometimes it's that old saying, say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
See, sometimes when we come into new information, the first thing we want to do is we think we want to throw away all the old stuff. But sometimes it's the old things that will allow you to welcome some of the new things and not miss a beat. It is my ability to understand that there are certain things that I'm supposed to build upon in my life. And when I understand that, I'm not quick to just throw away all the things that have made me up until this point.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are so busy throwing things away to where every time you see them, it's like they're starting something new new and fresh.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing? I thought you was doing this here before. Well, I decided that I don't want to do this here and that wasn't good. Well, was the whole thing a train wreck or just part of it?
Right.
Not the whole thing. Keep some of it.
That's good.
So now, some people don't see inclusions as flaws, but rather as identifying characteristics or nature's fingerprints. There are some things that you and I have that nobody else have, and they're not bad things. See, you know how sometimes if you look at people, they want everything somebody else has. They want the same lips that somebody have, the same nose, the same buttocks, the same everything that somebody else had. That's Forrest Gump right there. You know, they look at people and they become envious over what they have. And when they look at themselves, they see a big flaw. Well, sometimes your flaws, what man or someone might consider a flaw, is the thing that makes you unique.
Right.
Just imagine if everybody's voice was the same. Man, there's no excitement in that. If everybody looked the same, if all of us walked around like a bunch of clones, there's no excitement in that. Sometimes that birthmark that you have that's been getting on your nerve, that's just your fingerprint on the planet, because nobody else has a birthmark like you.
Good. That's good.
Learn how to embrace the uniqueness. And even though somebody will see it and call it a flaw, but God knew exactly what he was doing when he created you. That thing that other people just don't understand yet, give it some time and it will begin to speak loud. It will be that thing to where they say, you know what, man, something I haven't seen anybody else do, that's when you understand it wasn't a flaw at all.
Right.
It was just something, a little nugget that God gave you to separate you from the crowd.
That's good. That's so good. Yeah. So when we step outside of our habitual thinking patterns, we experience what Peter Senge, author of this book called The Fifth Discipline, calls profound disorientation. Yeah. And so in which he says, in ways we see and make sense of the world, we become unglued when we step out of our habitual thinking pattern. So when we start doing something different, contrary to the way that we have been thinking, all of a sudden our lives are just like, oh my gosh, what just happened?
Because sometimes change causes you to feel as though you are disoriented. I don't know where I'm at right now. Why? Because sometimes new things that come into your world, that's how they make you feel. Why? Because I don't have anything that I could draw off of. I don't have any information. Right. I don't have a past. I don't have a history with this. So in the moment, I feel lost. I feel like I can't find my way.
Yeah.
But guess what? Every journey that we started out with at some point like that. You took your first step not having ever stepped before. You took your first crawl never having crawled before. You rolled over for the first time never having rolled over before. There were so many firsts, and the only reason we became good at the things that were once foreign to us is because we did it long enough. Repetition is the mother of learning.
Yeah.
We did it long enough. We did it long enough to where now we don't even have to think about whether or not I'm going to move my right in front of my left when I'm walking.
That's right. That's right.
Or whether or not I'm going to roll or whatever it is that I'm going to do. Why is that important? Because now you are embarking upon some new things. Don't panic because you feel lost. Embrace it and understand that if you go through the process, you will reach the destination that you have reached so many other times in your life. And that is a place to where you're now comfortable to what once was a unfamiliar place for you.
Wow.
Now you're comfortable with it.
Wow.
Because I did it. I didn't quit. I didn't panic. Because I felt as though I was lost. I felt out of pocket, out of place. But I hung in there long enough to where now what was once unfamiliar now is just a norm for me. I was once broke all the time, but I didn't hang out there. I got my first piece of money. Now I'm accustomed to having money.
Say your first piece of money.
My first piece of money. And then I once had a poverty mentality, but now because I've thought on the things that God has showed me in the Word of God, I don't feel strange now when I think about whether or not I can pull it off or whether or not I can have it.
Yeah.
I know that it's possible.
Yeah.
Before I was foreign, I used to shake. Say, man, look at that house right there. Oh, dear Lord, I don't believe I can have that house right there. But after a while, I looked at it and said it long enough to where now I feel like the only thing we need is just the moving trucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Back it on up, put my stuff in there.
But, sometimes those kinds of thoughts come when we are not willing to really deal with the inner person. There's so many, we have these thoughts and these things about ourselves that we continue to perpetrate. I mean, we just go along the motions. We're going along, but yet we're still thinking all these things. We may say the right things out, externally, but internally we're feeling a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
We're feeling like, even though we're saying, I have all these things, or I can do this, or I can do that, or I am this person or that person. But, deep within the recesses of our lives sometimes, and, it shows up, when we go at home by yourself or whatever in a dark room, and you're just like, oh, I just feel like a failure. I'm not who I said or who I'm portraying to be. And so all those things, those different inclusions and imperfections and various things that's on us that we refuse to deal with will keep us from being able to be able to excel.
That's
because
right.
We're just stuck right here.
Yeah.
I can't move.
And one of the things that when you look at that, one of the reasons why the lesson started out talking about clarity being one of the most important of the 4 C's is because, anytime we want to hide, anytime that we are not comfortable being who we are, we don't have God's clarity on the situation of who we are.
Right.
See, if you knew who you were created to be, there's no way you would be hiding.
Wow.
There's no way you would be trying to be a carbon copy of somebody else.
Yeah.
The lack of clarity based on who God created a person to be will cause them to run around pursuing something else, trying to be what they were not created to be, finding themselves frustrated, not understanding that the answer to the thing that's happening in your head just happens to be spending time with Mr. Creator himself, getting clarity on what was on his mind when you made it here.
Wow. Wow.
And that's a game changer.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
Good. Yeah.
Simply because a lot of people are miserable because they don't have clarity concerning themselves. They could tell you what the hottest dance is and what the latest music is and who the best athletes are.
Yeah.
But if you ask them, well, who are you? What were you sent to the planet to accomplish?
Wow.
Sometimes they act as though they've never met themselves.
Wow. Wow.
No clarity, not a clue of who they are. And that's why they want to go in a dark room,
right,
and crawl up in the fetal position.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why they want to contemplate suicide. That's why they want to take drugs and alcohol to try to ease the pain of not having clarity on the situation, when if they had a glimpse of who they are, they want to live every day fully conscious of what the day offers.
What you say?
Because there's time carved out for them to do wonderful things.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so clarity is the first step. You're talking about this earlier already. Clarity is the first step toward creating your future and living your brilliance. And this clarity has 3 facets, and we're going to talk about these 3 facets. I think these are amazing to really kind of dig into. Facet number 1 says this: examine your motives.
Yes.
Examine your motives.
Yes. And see, when it talks about examining your motives, a lot of time that we always talk about the why. You need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Because sometimes if your motive and my motive, if our motives are not right, we will pursue things for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
We will try to take and position ourselves so that we're around the people that we think have our answers.
That's right.
We'll compromise on important decisions because we think that we need more from a job or a person or an organization or a situation than we really need. See, or when I set out with corrupt motives. See, I set out to run cons.
Yeah.
I set out to position myself to sometimes find out that I position myself in situations that really, I found out when I got there, I really didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I didn't want to be there. Yeah. But I thought I did.
Yeah.
Because I thought I wanted what they had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Sharon says this many times. I think you took that back down too quick. Many times we do not know who we are because we have not taken the time to get to know us at the different stages of life. Now that is so good.
Yeah. Because,
just as obviously we live in Florida, so we may not understand this analogy as well as some places to other people, but we have seasons of life. There's seasons, we have fall and autumn or whatever, and spring and summer and winter, and so essentially you're supposed to have these seasons. I think sometimes in Florida we may have all 4 seasons in one day.
We skip a few.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't have them at all. And so we may, maybe that's not a good analogy to use Florida, but there are these seasons and things change during these seasons. And as Dr. Sharon said, in these different stages of life, we change.
Yeah.
There's different things about us. We don't wear the same clothes. We don't think the same way. We don't go to the same places.
Yeah.
Some of us don't even like the same foods. We don't do this, just different things have changed.
Right.
And so we don't get to know ourselves. We will be stuck right here and trying to figure out why we can't excel. And because of that, many times because of that, we're trying to figure out, well, why I can't get further. And then what we start to do is we start to imitate somebody else because they must. I mean, look at their lives. They're doing well. So that must be the way I'm supposed to go.
Yeah.
I mean, to be sure, I'm not supposed to be over here and not doing this or that.
Yeah.
So that's how you get people in a situation where you just become frustrated because now you don't know where you are in your stage of life. And so now you're going to take on someone else's.
Yeah.
And so you're just as miserable.
That's right.
Not knowing or going someplace, a different direction than somebody else's things.
And then if I put a different spin on it, sometimes even just growing from phase to phase based on the human progression.
Yeah.
It's dangerous when you and I don't have the right clarity, the right information to move from an adolescence to the next phase.
Wow.
Have you ever seen somebody that you know they're stuck in their mind? You know they're stuck concerning life, because when you talk to them, you understand that the conversation that you're holding with this 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old should make more sense than it's making. You could tell that somewhere there was an information gap there. Somewhere the person did not grow.
That's right.
And because they didn't grow, they don't have clarity based on what's required in the new moment. So they get frustrated because they're bringing yesterday's person into today's arena, and today's arena requires something else.
Wow.
You cannot expect to function the way that you function in elementary school the same way when you get in junior high school.
Yeah.
They would think something is wrong if you came in there and you were still drawing little stick people. You still was trying to learn how to write in cursive. You still were trying to learn the difference between a verb, a noun, and all those things. They will be looking at you say, wait a minute, something happened to stop your growth.
Right.
So you don't have the right information. You don't have the right clarity to to function where you are right now.
Wow. Wow.
So we have to make sure that as we go through life, there are certain pieces of information that we need to make sure that we're grabbing hold to as we travel, so that we are qualified no matter what juncture we find ourselves in life.
That's right. Yeah. So now as we're examining our motives, moments of truth often reveal the motives of your heart.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, like, seriously.
Yes.
We get to this place and we're just like, oh, maybe, really and truly, we already know our motive's not right.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this story in the book, Releasing Your Brilliance with Simon T. Bailey. And one of the things that Simon T. Bailey said, that he had gone to this city, and before he got there, that he looked up all the influential people, all the people that had money, all the people that was big and bad and did things.
Yes.
And he decided he was going to get to know all those people because he was going to be successful in this new city. And so he decided that was his thing that he did. And so he went and started going to all these different functions, to the Chamber of Commerce and the various things, these different big business meetings, because he was going to be, this great man and going to make all this money. Essentially, he was trying to line his pockets, really. And so he went there and did all that. And the more that he did it, it seemed like the further back he became. I mean, he kept going backwards instead of going forward.
Yes.
He couldn't get forward, couldn't get ahead because his motives were wrong. He wasn't going there to learn and know the people and getting to know the city and seeing how he can serve the city. He was going to see what can the city give for me. If I connect with the who's who and rub elbows with the hobnobs of the people that's got the money, the money's going to come to me.
Yeah.
So he was not thinking about what he could do and to serve the city. He decided, I'm going there to do for me.
Well, and we learned early on, a few lessons back, that the reason why you were given and I was given our brilliance, our creative genius, is to serve other people.
Yeah.
When you have the wrong motive, it's all about you. It's why do I want to be connected to these people? Well, it's not about what I bring to them. It's about what they can do for me.
Right.
Why do I want a lot of money? Well, I want a lot of money so I could buy me a big house or drive a big car. Why do I want to be successful? Well, I want to be successful because of the naysayers, because of my haters. And sometime in our head that makes sense, but really, if your motive is not right, if your why is not right, then guess what? Then you will stop your own growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your creative genius cannot rise to the level that is supposed to rise to when we have wrong motives.
Right.
And then because something else, when you and I have wrong motives, like Bailey was going to this city to meet all the right people. Well, God is a jealous God. And if you meet the right people that have all your answers, then guess what? They become your God.
Wow. Wow.
Could it be some doors have been closed for you simply because if you would have walked through those doors, gotten what you wanted, then instead of God getting all the glory, honor, and praise for the great things that are happening in your life, you would have been talking about how great some man or woman is.
Yeah. Wow.
So don't frown every time some doors close. Sometimes doors are shut and locked, keeping us out to protect us from ourselves.
Yeah, that's good.
Because our motives are all wrong. It's not about helping people. It's about me trying to prove a point. It's about me trying to say, you know what, man, if I get here, I can't wait to get my new car because I'm going to ride through that neighborhood where they doubted me. And I'm going to toot the horn 2 times. I'm not going to even talk. I ain't going to let the window down just a little crack so they'll know it's me because my windows are tinted.
Yeah.
But I'm going to toot. I ain't going to even stop. Why? Because I've arrived.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's, realistically, if we would just be really honest, I think we have all had moments like that.
Yes.
We've all had moments where, it's like, well, they doubted me. They didn't think I could do it. What was the old song? They said I wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
They said I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
And so it's like you want to throw it in their face. And here I am. I'm still here. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You almost want to throw it in people's face, but then you don't really go further. The only thing you're doing is hurting you. When we're trying to throw stuff up in people's faces and things of that nature. So here it says, if your motives are pure and honest, you will experience forward momentum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we have pure motives, that our motives are right, that we're really thinking, I'm going to do this because this is what God said, or I'm going to do this because this is what I really want to do, not because I want to throw something in someone's face, or not because I'm trying to get something.
Yeah. Because pure motives are really an indication that you understand why you exist.
Yeah.
So your motives are pure when you understand that you don't have to compete to be you. You don't have to work hard to be you. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. All you got to do is find the spot that was reserved for you. There was a reservation made for you before you got to the planet. You just need to show up and function in there.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you understand the greatest reward that you and I will experience when we find out who we are and do what we were born to do is there's a satisfaction of making somebody else's life better.
Wow.
You'll find out it's better than focusing. Why focus on 1 or 2 people that have disappointed you to prove something to them when you have something that was designed for you to give to the masses?
Right.
And you could put a smile on the masses' faces because of what God gave you.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I choose the masses over those 1 or 2, 3,
That's
10
right.
people that didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
They become irrelevant. How do you want to be remembered? Always trying to get back? Or do you want to try to fulfill God's plan for your life?
Wow. Miss Anita Tenyita Stacy said this. We have to, I think, be honest of our motives. Certainly, our gift makes room for us. However, we are to advance the kingdom and be a sheer blessing in every situation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And see, that's a strong statement. Say your gift will make room for you. But if your gift will make room for you sometime in rooms that you were not invited to.
Oh.
Have you ever used your gift? Because I'm a talker. So I have talked my way. I'll never forget. We were in North Carolina, and TD Jakes was coming to town, and Shirley Caesar, all of them was there. And I walked up to the theater where they were having the conference at, and they were delivering flowers or a piano or something. And they say, "Who in charge?" Well, nobody said anything. So right there in the moment, I said, "I'm in charge." So here it is. Pastor Norma can attest because she was with child at the time. So next thing you know, everything moving in there. I done start directing stuff, and then the night when the service was starting, it was a service. I had security in the back of the place, bringing Pastor Norma and her friend through the back with the VIPs. So now that was a situation. Now that wasn't one of those situations I hated because I think it was a great moment. But sometimes, just like I use my gift to do that, I've also used my gift to do things that I should not have been doing based on my influence, based on the ability to persuade people to do things. So the gift will open doors for you. You just got to make sure that you're not going in doors that were not designed for you. You're going in doors that God predestined for you to walk in before you got here.
My goodness.
Yeah, because I know some of you don't walk in the room. You don't felt like a stranger. You know it wasn't a good fit. You did everything. You jocked to get in there. You ran cons. You did everything. And then once you got in there, you felt like a fish out of water. Why? Because the room was not part of God's plan for your life.
Yeah. And essentially your motives were wrong.
That's right.
That's the bottom line.
That's right.
Motives were wrong.
That's right.
Yeah. If your motives are wrong, your brilliance will remain locked up.
Wow.
Yeah. So I need you to expound on that greatly.
If your motives are wrong, your brilliance is locked up. Your brilliance being released is based on you understanding what God's plan is for your life. And if your motive is wrong, and if God allowed you to go and do what you are contemplating doing that's wrong, he would be giving you and I permission to disobey him and to abort the plan that he has for us. Why? Because your brilliance and my brilliance was given to us. We learned a few weeks ago, not for some of the things that we focus on, but it was given to us primarily so that we can impact the world.
Yeah.
So that you and I could make somebody else's life better. Not for us to go out here and use the brilliance, the gifting that God has given us to run cons and to make people's lives better or to prove points. And that's why it's not released. Why? Because a lot of time, if we were released to be the best us that we could be, and we got the wrong heart, we could cause a lot of damage.
That's right. That's right.
And because God loves us so much, he'll protect us from us.
Yeah.
He'll protect you from you.
Yeah. And I think we see that a lot too when we're looking at people in particular, and I'm not throwing any shade towards any particular person, but when we look at, for instance, politicians, because when they're going into this place of these different offices, some politicians really go in because they really have a heart of service.
Yeah.
And they really want to serve the community or serve the state, serve the government or whatever. But there are some that just goes in there. Some of them not even necessarily for money. It's for power.
Yeah.
And so they have these bad motives.
That's right.
And because of their motives, they cause problems for other people that their constituents or whatever. They cause problems because they have wrong motives and they have bad thoughts about the reason why that they're even wanting to be in that office.
That's right.
Again, there are some that really are there because they're wanting to serve, but others, so many of them are there because they want for themselves. And those people are the ones that will cause problems for any and everybody.
Well, and it has been proven. See, but once again, when the motives are wrong, then a person with wrong motives that has a lot of power can be extremely dangerous.
Wow.
Why? Because your motives are wrong. You don't have clarity concerning why you were allowed to occupy this place of power. So because you don't understand that, you will abuse it. And sometimes that abuse is you will run major cons, you will fill your bank account. But then I think some of the greatest tragedies that take place is when you violate people.
Wow. Yeah.
Many people with power who don't understand the reason for the power will take and they will leave victims along life's journey because they didn't value the most important thing that God placed on the planet, which happens to be people.
Yeah, that's good.
So when I don't understand it, when I don't have clarity concerning who I am, I don't like who I am, I'm on a power trip. Why? Because I think power will do something that really, if I got close enough to God and got clarity from God, it's a part of the package that God has for your life. See, there's no way you could walk out the perfect plan of God for your life and you're not totally satisfied.
That's right.
But many people are in pursuit of trying to be satisfied, and they go after all this stuff. They go after power. They go after trying to make the right connections and all that kind of stuff. And the higher you go up in the wrong office, in the wrong place, the more you compromise. And somewhere, even people that knew you look at you and they can't really see whether or not it's you because you've changed so much.
Wow. Yeah.
Going in the wrong direction.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So now we were talking about clarity. Let's swing on back because we're getting close to our time to be done here tonight. Before I do, Deacon Andre Williams said, when the oppressed gets in the position of power, now the oppressed becomes the oppressor.
That's right.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
That's right.
That is so true.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yes, that is so true. Okay, so we were talking about clarity, and we talked about that clarity has three facets to it, right? Mm-hmm. The first one is that we talked about that one, examine your motives. I think we kind of beat that down to the ground. Yeah, we
sucked all the juice out of it.
We sucked all the juice out of it. It's gone. You're at the bottom of it. So we examine our motives. But then the second one is to evaluate the core areas of your life.
Wow.
Yeah, evaluate the core areas of your life.
So in July of 1986, a rough diamond weighing 599 carats was discovered in South Africa. The enormous stone was named the centenary diamond because its irregular shape. It was determined that only the most skilled craftsmen would be able to reveal the diamond's beauty without ruining it. With a small team, Toskowski took almost 3 years to transform the rough stone into the world's largest, most modern cut, top color, flawless diamond. When finished cutting and removing the excess, the stone went from 599 carats to 273 carats.
Wow. So almost half.
That's right.
Yeah.
It went from 599 carats, and by the time this master craftsman finished cutting off the excess. Mm-hmm. Now I want you to listen to what I'm saying. By the time he finished cutting off what was not needed, he almost cut half of the diamond away. Sometimes in life, we find ourselves on a journey just like this diamond. Here it is, we appear to be top heavy. But then in the right hands, in our case, in the hands of God, in the hands of the potter.
The master cutter.
We come in to the things of God. We got all this stuff. Man, yeah. we look like we got it together. Yeah. Sometimes we walk into church straight off the street of selling drugs and hustling and running cons. So I come in and I look like I got it together. I'm clean. I'm dressed. I'm saying all the right stuff. But then I mess around and I get in touch with the master cutter.
Yeah. And
then the master cutter himself, what he does, he began to chisel off everything, cut off this and cut off that. And before you know it, we're like the diamond. We have lost almost half of who we used to be because we were carrying around stuff that really didn't matter.
Yeah. That's good. And realistically, there are some things that each of us have that sometimes we just need to lay it down.
That's right.
So when you look at this diamond, the fact that this centenary diamond went from 599 carats down to 273 carats. So there was imperfections that was being cut off.
That's right.
There was things that was being, sloughed off, and things had to be gone in order for that diamond to be shined up. There are things in us that need to be dropped off.
That's right.
There are things that we need to let go of. We need to let go of some conversations, let go of some people, let go of some places, let go of some things that we say, some things that we think. There's some things that we need to let go, release, and be ready for us to be able to be shined up like a diamond. It's time for us to be able to show our brilliance through. But if we do not allow ourselves to have those things cut off and dropped off of us and get these imperfections and these inclusions off, we will never, ever be able to see the brilliance and the greatness of who God created us to be.
That is so good because really when you look at it, have you ever met someone and they had certain things, let's say they had a bad attitude, and they'll tell you, say, well, that's just who I am. I say what's on my mind. Sometimes people are just unfiltered. I do what I want to do. It's my thing. I do what I want to do. Well, sometimes when we make certain statements, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to take that from me. I'm determined to stay the way that I am.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been like this. Well, if the diamond could have made the decision to say, well, the nerve of you, Master Cutter.
Yeah.
I've been this way all of my existence. Who are you to cut something off of me?
Yeah.
What would have happened? The brilliance that the diamond possessed, the world would not have ever gotten a chance to see it.
Yeah.
And a lot of time it's the same way with us. We walk around and we fight to hold on to stuff that we don't need because that's our comfortable place.
Yeah.
And so in return, many people abort who they were created to be because they would not give the master cutter, who is God, permission to carve off some of the things that they have picked up that they never should have picked up.
Yeah.
But he wants to carve this thing off so that our brilliance, so that your brilliance can shine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give God permission to do it.
Yeah. Dr. Sharon said this, sometimes we are not ready to let go of those imperfections.
Yes.
And now have allowed our clarity to be blurred more. Yes, absolutely.
See,
absolutely.
You said something there.
Yeah. And you know, I was thinking about this thing here. It talks about these 3 years. Said it took him almost 3 years to transform that stone from the world's largest, most modern cut, top color, flawless diamond. It took him almost 3 years. And so many times as people, we don't want to wait any time frame.
Come on, preacher.
If God calls us to do something, God tells us this is what I have for you to do, but we're supposed to be in a place. God didn't tell us that right now it's time to go. Sometimes we need to stop what we're doing and wait to get further instructions and start working on the things that God is telling us we need to work on. Because people, that's the reason why you have so many pastors, preachers, teachers. That's the reason why you have all these different people that are in different positions and hurting people and not doing what's right because they have not taken the opportunity and taken that time that those 3 years that he was taking to do this diamond. We may need to have 3 years. We may need to have 10 years. We may need to have 30 years. If that's what it takes to get rid of some imperfections, some things on us in order to walk out the call of God on our lives. So we have to become to the point to where we're saying, God, I know what you said for me to do, but am I really ready?
Yeah.
Am I prepared for this position? Am I prepared to walk in what you have called me to do?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we haven't. We have to be really honest. I remember a time I stood in the mirror at myself. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I don't like you. You have a bad attitude. You need to fix you. Don't worry about the next person. Fix you. Look at yourself, because sometimes we're so busy looking at everybody else that we're not looking at ourselves. And I'm saying, I'm standing up in the mirror. I'm like, I know what God has called me to do. I know what he has told me to do. But until I get rid of this funky, nasty fact, this ugly attitude, I'm not going to be able to walk out the plan of God in my life. Now, I'm just being honest. This was me. This is my transparent moment. Maybe you don't have any of those, but maybe you do, and you're not willing to deal with them.
Well, and I see a lot of time that the thing is, when you don't want to deal with your imperfections, it is impossible for you to get clarity without dealing with your imperfections. Many times when some of the things that you called off, it's because a person don't get clarity.
Yeah.
See, sometimes the lack of clarity will cause you to embrace what's hurting you. It will cause you're in a tug of war a lot of times. You know the old game, the tug of war, you know, where you got people on this side of the rope and people on this side of the rope, and they're trying to pull and see who can pull the first person across the little line in the sand. Well, a lot of time we're in a tug of war with the things of God. We're saying, God, I hear what you're saying, but I can't let go of this.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's detrimental to me, I can't let go of it.
Yeah.
Even though it's causing me tears late at night, I can't let go of it. Even though he is not the best for me, or she is not the best for me, I can't let go. I know it's not right, but I can't let go of it. Even though I'm crying while I'm smoking crack, and I'm crying while I'm doing alcohol and all this stuff. I know it's not good for me, but God, I see you trying to take it, but I won't let you take it away from me. Why? Because at the end of the day, there's some pleasure in it, God. I say I hate it, but really the reason why I keep going back to him or her and they are abusive.
Yes. Yeah.
There's something that I like more than I hate the abuse.
Wow.
There's something about when I'm trying to make the next move, and it's painful, but I can't make the next move because Fear has a tighter grip than your love, God calling me.
Wow.
So you have to decide that you don't want to be paralyzed. You have to decide that you will not embrace your imperfections.
Yes.
That's preventing you from becoming everything that God
That's
created
right.
you to be.
That's right.
Let go and let God get the best out of your life.
Yes. Yes. I saw something that Minister Lynette Lewis said. She said, it requires Holy Spirit to help us because we can't do with our fleshly mind. We can't do with our fleshly mind and emotions. We can't. There's no way. We can't do it. And sometimes realistically, sometimes we need somebody that's on the outside that can step out on the outside and look at us and say, you do know that you can fix that, right?
Yeah.
Some people sometimes we need to just be honest and allow somebody to speak to us and tell us it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because, we be ready to fight.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that, that I'm not rose petals from the back.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. I mean, I got this all figured out.
Yeah.
You go and do your thing. But we need to decide, I'm going to allow somebody to tell me I'm wrong. If I won't deal with it myself, and the Holy Spirit could be telling somebody else the Holy Spirit telling Pastor Leo, you better tell your wife she in error. And now if he decides I love her more than I love the Holy Spirit, there's a problem. First of all, don't love me more than you love him. If he's telling you something, you better tell me. And likewise, and so I think as people, so many times the Holy Spirit is trying to tell us, the pastor trying to tell us, your sister, brother, wife, husband, cousin, whoever, trying to tell us, and we still won't change.
And you know what? And that's where the problem is. See, people are only willing to go so far with you to help you change. Mm-hmm. See, I should not be the mailman to give you good information to help you, and then you treat me like I'm trying to hurt you.
Ooh, what you say?
What will happen is I'm going to bring it. And if you be tripping too much, I'm going to go mute. Because, see, the bottom line is if you won't obey the Holy Ghost, then I be tripping thinking that my voice going to be stronger than his. Though there are times when you go, people do receive it.
Yeah.
But people should not have to fight you for you to do better with your life. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. See, no. You have to be a willing vessel to where you understand that there are some things that you need to let go of.
Yeah. Yeah.
In order to shine, in order for your brilliance to be released, in order for your creative genius to be able to enter into your world, you cannot be the person that you have always been.
That's right.
That's just about it. Requires the shine requires change.
That's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. And too many people have been going to church for 50, 20, 50, 70, 80 years and still mean as a rattlesnake, still, smoking, cussing, drinking, doing everything. I'm not putting nobody and saying that everybody going to hell for anything. I'm just saying. People gossiping, doing all kinds of stuff and saying that they are following after God. And then if you tell them about it, people will get upset.
Yeah.
Should not be. If the Holy Spirit, I'm sure if somebody else is telling you, the Holy Spirit has already tried to tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
This is good. AJ Sinclair, AJ, one of our spiritual children who moved to Atlanta and won't come home yet. So AJ's on here tonight. AJ said your attitude is the aroma of your heart. If your attitude is bad, then your heart ain't right. What you say?
Wow. Yeah, that just make you scratch your head. Say your attitude is the aroma of your heart. See, your attitude sends out something that smell. And people make a decision based on what type of aroma you're releasing.
Right.
Sometimes we release a pleasant aroma that will draw people in.
Yeah.
Then there are other times when we release an aroma that is not pleasant and it pushes them away.
Yeah.
You know whether or not you're drawing people. You know whether or not you're pushing them away.
That's right.
And you know what kind of aroma you are releasing into the lives of the people that you come in contact with.
That is so good. Now we have run way out of time.
Yes, God.
And so we planned on getting through 3 facets. We talked about examine your motives. We started off on That was number one. And then we wanted to talk about, we did talk about evaluate the core areas of your life, but we didn't get through the whole evaluate the core areas of your life. So we're certainly going to have to pick that up next week. But we are so appreciative that you are here with us tonight. Hey, can you guys do us a favor and just share information about Soul Talk so that people can jump on next week? We want to make sure that everybody understands and knows that we're here. We're not going anyplace. We just want to share some good information for your soul. We want to talk to your soul, allow your brilliance, your natural brilliance to come out. So we appreciate you and we love you so much.
Hey, and also put it out. There's a flyer out talking about the Father's Day brunch. Invite some guys, whether it's a husband, a son, a father, a friend. Let the men know that it's going to be an amazing event because, it's, first of all, it's free and it's going to be good food.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be a band. We're going to talk about some things pertaining to the guys. We're going to celebrate the men. So let somebody know. And
the brunch is for all men, not just for fathers.
Yeah.
So all males, I should say, boys and men. So,
yeah. So now, until next week, we make sure you let somebody know that we are on Praise 107.9 every Saturday evening at 6:00 p.m. We have Love Alive Church services starting at 10 o'clock every Sunday in Middleburg. And then on Thursday nights, we have Facebook Live where we're going to just talk about it. So let people know that we're working, trying to do our part to make a difference in the lives of God's people and people in general. And until next week, we will see you. Have an amazing rest of